Hi, Marcia.
So welcome, everybody. I'm so delighted that you could be present here today. There may be some more people that slip on in as we get going, but I want to honor the time that we've set aside. So I guess the first thing I want to ask is, have you heard of redox signaling molecules?
Yes.
And have you also heard of antioxidants?
Yes.
Well, today we're going to show you a very simple and easy way that we are bringing to market a duplicatable method with this breakthrough technology. So let me share my screen. Get to the right place. There we go. These are two really helpful sites. We encourage you to write down both of them. It's realredoxresults.com, which has some great testimonials on the product, and realredoxresults.biz, which offers other aspects of the opportunity. The password for both of these sites is Redox, REDOX. And today we'd like to explore with you realredoxresults.biz. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the ASEA Opportunity. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Alan Noble. I'm originally from Ireland, now living in Dallas, Texas, with my wife Tanya and my two daughters. And I've been a home-based entrepreneur for almost 30 years. And for the last 12 years, I have focused my time on this exact same opportunity that I'm sharing with you today. In that time, I've been grateful to have achieved considerable financial success for myself and my family. Now, this opportunity has taken me from being financially embarrassed to experiencing true financial freedom. But more importantly, I've been able to work directly and indirectly with thousands of people who have also seen financial success with this opportunity. Some of them even going on to become members of our elite $1 Million Earners Club. Now, I don't say any of this to impress you, but to impress upon you the sheer potential of the information that you are about to review. Now, before we get started, I want to tell you up front that the people that succeed with this opportunity can check two boxes. You've got to believe your health is your greatest wealth, and it's your responsibility to invest into it, that living in a healthy, vibrant body is important to you. You also have to have a strong desire to create an additional income stream. If you can check those two boxes, then I can assure you, you are in the right place at the right time, watching the right presentation. I would like to begin with some what-if questions. What if there was a breakthrough in the massive $150 billion health supplement industry? A breakthrough technology that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible, and yet today represents a new category of science. What if this high-impact technology was allowing people to experience better health and vitality, greater athletic endurance and recovery, slow down the aging process so you can look younger longer? What if this same technology was protected by patents and trade secrets, so there was no competition, no copycats, no other company in the world has anything like it? No one. And finally, what if virtually no one knows about it? With less than 2% of the population even knowing the technology exists. What if all of this was true? Would that sound like an opportunity to you? Now, the fact is, breakthroughs create opportunity, and the bigger the breakthrough, the bigger the opportunity. So I'm going to divide this presentation into 3 parts. Part 1, we're going to talk about money, income, opportunity. Then in part 2, I'm going to introduce you to this massive health science breakthrough that checks every one of those what if boxes that I mentioned earlier. And then finally in part 3, I will introduce you to the company behind it all, how to get started, as well as give you some additional resources so you can explore information to make an informed decision. So with that, let's get right into part 1, the opportunity. So you're watching this video because you're open for ways to create an additional stream of income, particularly if it doesn't get in the way of what you're currently doing. An income opportunity that you can weave into even the busiest of schedules. A business that does not require a lot of upfront capital, running costs, or any employees. A business that you could run from your own home with a phone and a computer and offers unlimited training and support. Best of all, a business that can empower you to better people's lives and be a force for good in the world, or as I like to say, make a living while making a difference. So let's get a little personal and let me ask you this question. How much additional income would it take to make a real difference in your life? What would winning look like for you? Perhaps you're looking for some part-time income. There's too much month left at the end of the money, and you want to create an additional income to relieve the financial stress. With inflation going through the roof, look, if you don't find a way to make more money this year over last year, then financially you are slipping backwards. Maybe you want to replace a full-time income. You want to be your own boss, work from home, take back control of your financial future. I realized at 23 years of age that I was psychologically unemployable. I did not want to clock in and clock out for somebody else for the next 40 years. Maybe that's you. Or perhaps you believe you deserve to have it all. You see the big picture here and realize that big time income, lifestyle income is possible. Now, allow me to stress, this is a business and it does require work. Like any business, there's no guarantees of income. Results that you experience will be based on individual effort, commitment, and dedication. However, with that said, here's a snapshot of the various levels of success in our business and the corresponding incomes. These are real people achieving real results. There are monthly lows and monthly highs, but I've highlighted the monthly average. And I think it's fair to say that we check all the boxes, whether it's some additional part-time income, full-time income, or that big-time lifestyle income. And the income that we're talking about can become a residual income. Think about this. You have residual bills in life, bills that come in month after month, whether you're working or not. Why not have a residual income that comes in month after month, whether you're working or not? I once heard it said that if you fully understood the power of residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get to it. And yet the sad truth is most people never get to experience residual income because they don't have enough spare money to create it. Instead, they spend their entire working lives exchanging the most valuable thing they own, their time, for a one-time dollar. So at this point, allow me to introduce you to ASEA Redox, what many experts are calling the single greatest health science breakthrough of our lifetime. To grasp the importance of ASEA Redox and this breakthrough, you must fully understand that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells are passing tremendous amounts of information to keep your body running at optimal health. Any breakdown in this vital communication, in this signaling, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. To put it very simply, if your cells can't signal, then little else matters. Imagine your home is on fire and you call the fire department. They've got the big red truck, the firefighters, the fire hose, everything they need to put out the fire. But what if you have a bad cell signal? They don't get the message and your home goes up in smoke. The $150 billion supplement industry has put all of their focus and attention on the fire truck, the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, the exotic juices, the essential oils, the CBD oils. But nobody is focusing on the critical cell signal until now. ASEA Redox is the world's first and only cell signaling supplement. And for the first time, we can amplify and clarify this critical cell signal, and the difference it's making in people's lives is absolutely astonishing. This signaling technology is empowering people to feel better than ever before, helping folks with challenges they may have had for decades, proving to be the missing link to better health and vitality. And it's not just health. Casual athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. And with our topical signaling gel, Renew 28, seeing is believing, resulting in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging. And when applied to sore joints and muscles, we often see dramatic improvement in 5 minutes or less. And as I said earlier, this astonishing technology has been validated by third-party independent science, and thanks to multiple patents, there is nothing else like it in the world. So at this point, let's move to part 3 of this presentation as I share with you a little of the story behind the breakthrough. The founders of ASEA, Vertus Norton and his son Tyler, were both extremely well-experienced corporate strategists working with several multi-billion-dollar companies. They had bought an unfinished version of this technology from a struggling biotech company. They brought in a team of brilliant scientists led by an atomic medical physicist, and soon they achieved the breakthrough. They stabilized a cell signaling technology that previously science had declared was impossible. The goal now was to simply sell their new technology to the pharmaceutical industry and walk away with the profits. However, knowing that their product was 100% safe with 0 levels of toxicity, they started 40 people using the product. And many of these people began to see remarkable results. They naturally started sharing the product with others. And soon there's 135 people in 20 different countries benefiting from this breakthrough. A pharmaceutical company flies into Salt Lake City, puts a multi-million-dollar offer on the table with one condition. Every single person drinking this product had to stop, regardless of the life-changing benefits they might have been experiencing. So it's important for you to know that the founders of ASEA actually said no to this massive payout, and they said yes to a set of principles. They said yes to putting people first. So what now? They have something that people deserve to know about. But how do we tell the world that this powerful technology exists? Both Vertus and Tyler knew that their cutting-edge technology would require a little education and personal experience. They'd also seen that when people benefited from the product, they would naturally share it with others. So they chose word of mouth, referral marketing, network marketing. And it's this business model that opens up tremendous financial opportunity for people like you and me. Someone who wants to build an exciting residual income while having a positive impact on the lives of others. As I said earlier, making a living while making a difference. And here's a quick summary of our success so far. Officially launched in 2010, we're a legacy-focused, debt-free company. We own and operate our FDA-registered, NSF-certified manufacturing facility. We operate more than 20 distribution centers and ship to over 30 countries in North America, Europe, Australia, and Asia. We have achieved over $1 billion in sales since we began, and we've paid out over $450 million in commissions, positively impacting tens of thousands of people's lives, both physically and financially. ASEA wisely spent the first decade laying the foundation for long-term success. In 2020, we achieved global sales of $180 million, and we're on track to triple the size of this business, taking the company to $500 million in sales over the next few years. Now, in doing so, we will pay out $1 billion in commissions, creating strong part-time, full-time, and yes, big-time residual incomes for our associates. So everything is in place for your success. A financially rock-solid, ethical, principle-based company, a patented, protected breakthrough in health that is changing lives, and yet most people don't even know it exists. A generous compensation structure where you can earn significant residual income, and perfect timing. We are post-risk, but we still have most of our exciting growth ahead of us. And of course, you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself, with unlimited training and support from like-minded entrepreneurs who have already experienced success. Becoming an ASEA associate couldn't be simpler. Step one, visit the Team ASEA website or the person that introduced you to this video and click on the join button to become an associate. Step two, choose one of our discounted enrollment packs and become a product of the product. Step three, opt in for our very user-friendly subscription program that can be canceled at any time. With our monthly subscription, you start to earn valuable loyalty reward points that can be cashed in for free product down the road. Now, I want to thank you for your time in watching this short video. If you'd like to better understand the business model of network marketing and how the money's made, then I'm going to encourage you to take a few minutes and watch the next video. You can also listen to people from around the world share their experiences with the ASEA business opportunity. If you'd like to dig into our breakthrough health technology and how it's impacting people's lives, then visit our sister site, www.railredoxresults.com. Same password that got you onto this site. And finally, I recommend getting back to the person that invited you to ASEA. And if you're ready to join us, I want to be the first to welcome you aboard the great ASEA adventure. This is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today and wishing you all the success that you believe you deserve. And bye for now. Hello and welcome to...
Let me go ahead and stop this. Hope I didn't start her talking. Here we go. Sometimes I need a little time to transition from one thing to the next. So what I want to acknowledge is that a little recap. So first, what I heard him say was that Virtus sat on the board. They stabilized the product, and then they shared it with 40 people to see if they would even drink the product. So about 50% of people get results in 30 days and 90% in 90 days. If we were together, we would sample out this product and you'd all get to taste it. And then we'd ask, what does it taste like to each of you? Different people have different experiences with the taste. Some say it tastes like hydrogen peroxide. Others say it tastes like chlorine or salt water or pool water. Some just say it doesn't taste good. But why does everybody get a different taste when they're drinking out of the same bottle? Well, everybody's body chemistry is different. But think about this. What does it tell you when a group of 40 people grew to over 100 people in 20 countries in 2 months? We'd like to take a little time to share a few testimonials with you today. Oh, did I do it again? I think I did. So hold on tight. I will have this with us in just a jiffy. This is just to show you that anybody can do this because I can do it. And when you kind of have a little mix-up, you just talk about what the mix-up is and ask for people to give you some grace. And then you ask yourself to give you grace at the same time. And let's see, I think I may have to restart my share because I had to drag something over from a different, I had to drag something over from my other screen. So we'll try it again. And this time, there we are. We're back. And let me hand this over to Marian.
I am so grateful for ASEA. about 8 years ago, I married a mountain man. Rand is on the left picture there with the two of us. And when we're up in the mountains, that is the highlight of the year. It's where our marriage just is elevated somehow and holds us for the rest of the year. But on this particular hike in the Sierras, actually, it was the one before this one. I was the last one climbing. I was out of breath. High elevation was just very, very difficult for me. I couldn't breathe. Even at night when I'd be in bed, there was just no air. It was a panic attack almost. So I told Rand that next time he was going to have to take good pictures because I wasn't going to be able to go. And his answer was, well, ASEA comes in pouches. Let's carry the ASEA and see if that makes a difference. And this was again in the Sierras. And look at me, I'm not the last one. I was one of the leaders again. And we just had the most marvelous time. So now I just want to have the ASEA wherever I go because it makes me younger and feel better every day.
Thank you, Marian. This also works really well for other mammals and plants as well, though I don't have any plants to show you. This is a testimonial from Yanni Feliciano. And she has a horse that she loves. And one time she noticed in late May, early June, that it had what looked like a mole or something growing on its cheek. And she called the vet, and the vet came out and determined that it was one of those really aggressive things that has lots of roots that would require lots of surgery and laser technology. But they had to wait a while to get it scanned out. And so by August 22nd, it still hadn't happened. And she saw something was, oh, let me back up. She asked them some of the into the mole or the growth. And the vet said, no, because it's really aggressive. It might make it get more aggressive. She asked if she could use the gel, and the vet thought that would be okay. So by August 22nd, she noticed something different was happening. So she called the vet, and the vet came out because she wanted to get a biopsy. She clipped off this growth that was starting to come off and sent it into the lab. The result that came back was that, yes, this is that very aggressive growth and not to mess with it. But she kept putting the gel on. And what she found out was that by August 2nd, by the time the vet's office or the lab, wasn't the lab, the vet's office called and said, we're ready to go ahead and get that scheduled. And she goes, well, do I need to? Because it's completely healed and the hair's grown back and you can't even tell it happened. The vet was in disbelief and came out with another vet to investigate because she'd seen this horse, she'd seen the growth. And they were astonished and took pictures and said, you know, it wouldn't have looked this good if you'd followed the protocol that we were recommending, because if you take something like that off, and even if the hair grows back, it's going to grow back white where there would be scar tissue. And that didn't happen. So Yanni was so delighted that she saved about 10K in not doing the recommended treatment, and really grateful for the molecules. You'll need to unmute, Marian.
Being quiet. This is our friend Rosie, and her son introduced her to redox molecules, the drink ASEA and the Renew 28, which is for your face. She was using both, and after 7 weeks, she didn't think it had made any difference. But luckily, her son had taken pictures, and we can see that there was a difference. And it just continued to get better and better at 86, at 87, and now at 91. And I love this picture because it shows what happens when we apply ASEA Renew 28 to the outside of our bodies. We can't always see what's happening on the inside, but those molecules are doing wonderful things on the inside as well.
Now I'd like to get to introduce our guest speaker, Marcia, who is a wife, mother, and Grammie. a retired teacher, both traditional school and homeschooling for her own kids. She's also a very accomplished Ironman athlete and a 26-year networking veteran. So let's give a warm welcome to Marcia.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on here today, Gloria. It's so fun to be with y'all. If you don't mind, I had remembered this morning that I have this little testimony slideshow, and I'd like to share that, a little bit of our journey through the world of Nikan while we go, our Nikan of ASEA while we go through here. If that's all right with you, I'll share my screen and do that.
Yes, please.
Is that
do.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see. I think I pulled it up. Yeah, forgotten I had this. This is kind of the road home is what it's labeled. But when we've had, like you've heard a lot of people on here today, have had a lot of health benefits from ASEA that range widely from I broke my wrist and was out of the cast and back to strengthening it right away at 6 weeks. My gym, my coach, Sean Burke, was amazed at what I was able to do with flexibility and strength just right off the bat. He didn't expect me to be able to return to some of the things I was doing right away. ASEA has allowed us to be active, continue to be quite active. This was my first little granddaughter that made me a Grammie, and my husband. My son cut his fingers with a table saw one Christmas Eve and came in and, "Mom, you got to come out here." And it was just bleeding like crazy. And I had heard that ASEA would stop bleeding. So I didn't know what to do. I thought if I put, something over this to grab it to keep the bleeding from continuing, it's going to just hurt so bad. So I just said, "Hey, Jacob, we always kept our ASEA on the kitchen counter." I said, "I don't know, let's try it." And I took the bottle and went glug, glug, glug over his fingers, and it stopped immediately. It was, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have been amazed. And this was just 2 days afterwards, when the first time we took the bandages off after being stitched up. He has full use of both fingers. It's just amazing what ASEA did for him in that situation. Let's see, I gotta get this. I have some breathing issues. I found out that I actually have some scar tissue in my lungs. And before ASEA, I had a pretty large difficulty breathing when I would try and exercise or exert myself much. And I like to do a lot of things that are quite physical. And now I've gotten to where I can run a half marathon, a marathon, and it's not an issue for me. I think we know from the gene studies that, and from the studies that ASEA has done, that scar tissue is affected. And I think that has been happening inside me. I've continued on in my quest to be fit and been very successful in the triathlon world. And I finished my first Ironman triathlon this fall. And that none of that could have been done without ASEA. The training, the recovery, the endurance, just put my ability to another level. And finally, even our grandbabies like ASEA and benefit from it. They use it by either drinking it or their parents put it in a little handheld mister so that they can suck it up their nose. Last night, my littlest granddaughter was showing some pretty significant signs of some breathing difficulties due to a cold, and made it through the night without waking up mom or dad after several treatments with the mister. So ASEA has affected, these are just a few of the ways ASEA has affected our health. And if that was just it, that would be a miracle. But ASEA also allowed us, we were in a very tough spot financially when we were introduced to ASEA. We had forgotten how to dream. And if we look at the definition of dream, it's one of them is a vision voluntarily indulged in while awake, to daydream. And we really didn't have the ability at that point in time because we were putting one foot in front of the other, just trying to stay afloat, try and keep our head above water. And dreaming of what the future was going to be was not a pleasant, it was more like a nightmare at that point in time. But ASEA gave us back our ability to dream gradually. It gave us an ability to look, why would we want to do something? And if you look at the definition of why, it's a question concerning the cause or reason for something is done or achieved. And, many of us don't look at that. We just, we're so involved in trying to get one step in front of the other, keeping our head above water, that we don't even have a reason to think about, other than, we just got to breathe. But to be able to begin to think about why would we want to get in another state and to dream about what that would do for us, that's something that ASEA gave back to our family. And in the course of that, we were able to start thinking, what if, we were able to do this? What if we had the finances to support this, other thing? And the journey kind of went like this. Started out, many of you probably shop at Costco. And there's so many things there. And I don't know about you, but I always look at the stuff that's in the other people's cart and think, oh, wouldn't it be fun to try that? Especially back then when, I had a certain amount when I went to Costco, and that meant eggs, milk, bread, and then get out of the store before you bought anything else. Because we have 4 kids and, all their friends hung out at our house. We were very lucky that way. But then one day, as we started our ASEA journey and our finances started to take a little turn, I was standing by one of the, the things that were on sale. And there was these ladies talking about, oh man, this stuff is the best. And it was Skinny Pop, pre-popped popcorn. Who would ever think to get something that extravagant, that you could just put the kernels in your popcorn popper at home? But they were talking about it. And it all of a sudden dawned on me, I can put that in my basket with my eggs, my bread, my milk. And it's not going to break the bank for the first time. And so I did. And my husband and I still, I don't know if we eat Skinny Pop and have it always in the house because it reminds us of where we've come from, or because we really love it. But whichever, we still always, you'll find Skinny Pop in our house. From there, some pretty neat things happened. We were driving a Prius at the time. My husband would take my son to his swim meets, and they would sleep in the back of the Prius because we couldn't afford a hotel. Couldn't afford the meal, going out to eat with everyone else. So they'd find a dark place and they'd sleep no matter what the weather. And we live in Spokane and the weather's not nice in the winter here, but they would travel in that Prius and had some real bonding times sleeping in the back of that, trying to stay warm. We were able to upgrade to a motorhome that we now travel in. And this is a picture of several of our teams who also had a motorhome. We all caravan down to Salt Lake for the national convention one year. It was great fun to do. I used to lay in bed and think, oh my gosh, how are we going to marry our daughters? We have 2 beautiful daughters. And at the time that we got into ASEA, and they were at that age where they were going to start looking to get married pretty soon. And I had visions. They had pretended all their lives about weddings and dress up and all that. And my daughter had even bought, I just found it in the dress up box, this dress at a garage sale that she thought would be her wedding dress one day. And I thought, well, that just might be her wedding dress because it's going to be in our backyard and it's going to be a potluck because that's all we can afford. And fortunately through, there's another picture of the kids playing dress up. Fortunately through ASEA, we were able to, our girls got married 6 months apart. And we were able to give them the wedding dresses and and wedding of their dreams. Fortunately, they're not extravagant girls, but they, it was nice to have a really nice wedding that they had dreamed of, and not the one that I was thinking we were going to have in our backyard with, a potluck and the dress out of the dress up box. And it was nice to pay cash for that. Then as we went along, this was a pretty exciting day. My mother-in-law lived in an old single wide trailer up in Old Town, Idaho. She was afraid to go out of the house, afraid she'd fall down and nobody would find her. You'd go in and she'd have 3 layers of clothes and a heated blanket on her lap because she didn't want to use her heater. And I turned to Jerry one day and I said, if we're going to be making money, we need to spend it to honor our parents first. And she's the only living parent we had, But I looked around and I found a place where she could live and get one meal a day. She's close to us in town, and I took her to see it. She loved it, and we moved her in the next week. And that's pretty exciting when you can make the money to be able to do that while you're still changing other people's health, but also be able to change the life circumstances of those that you love the most. And there she is. After we had moved her into there. Beforehand, she didn't want to live. She was waiting to live out her days. And within a week of moving her into this new place, she was happy. She said, you know, turned to Jerry one day and said, you know what, I want to live. And, you know, that's a pretty great thing to have money to be able to do that. And ASEA has given that to us. The last thing that's kind of a huge thing that we were able to do because of what ASEA has done for us and what we've been able to do for other people is back in the early 90s, my husband built this house. He's labored building doing all the plumbing underneath. We had somebody bring the logs, but he built the rest of the house. It was a pretty exciting day when that came. But we had to sell this house in the early 2000s and the acreage that it was on, the 20 acres that it was on. And because of what ASEA has done and the memories the kids, you know, our older kids have, well, all of them have memories here, but especially the older ones playing in the acreage, building their shack, playing in the kitchen here, you know. When you live in the Northwest, you let ride-on toys come in the house, building airplanes. We had some great memories here before we had to sell it in the early 2000s. And just 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I think it is now, the gentleman that bought our house, he put it up on the market, and we thought, you know what, let's go see it. And because of the financial state that we had been able to get into with our ASEA business, we were able to look at it. And when we came, we were just like, you know what, we need to come back here. We need to bring the family back here. And we were able to purchase it in the 20 acres back. We still had 40 acres attached to it. And now we've had many family reunions here, many business events here. We've started doing a yearly event for some of our leaders in our team. And the memories are being built again in the house that we built. So that's our ASEA story. Let me get out of here. Oh, and I guess I didn't show the last pictures of making the new memories there, but there's us with 3 of our grandbabies. We now have 4. And my husband with out on his tractor with our grandson, playing in the pool, having the family reunions here, walking in the woods, down by the creek, snowshoeing on the property, fire pits, and Christmas with all of the kids. And ASEA has changed our life beyond our wildest dreams, both physically and financially. And I can only hope that you can see the vision and that your family too can be changed in ways like we were. So that's our story, Gloria, in a nutshell.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for your openness and your sharing from your heart, and also the possibilities and the potential that is available to each of us when we have the courage to step in.
Yeah. You know, and maybe you don't have any desire to work, you know, at it full time like we did. And, you know, it's so possible for people to make $400, $200 a month, which can really change. You know, that can be, if that's your extra money, you know, if you need it for your finances, for your family finances, that can make a huge difference. But the other thing, it can make a huge difference. What if you had $200 a month you could give to any organization that you ever wanted to? That's pretty exciting when you can get done with your own finances and then be able to give beyond where you see a need. And I think there's a lot of people I see on here that would be totally blessed if they were able to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to acknowledge that anybody that's watching this later or today, if you're interested in this and you would like to ask some more questions, or if you're ready to move forward with either the product or you want to start sharing, reach out to the person that shared this with you today and get started, and know that we're here to accompany you and to help you every step of the way.
And like a friend of ours says, Gloria Masami says, she says, why not? Why not get started today? Because, today is a great day, and tomorrow is going to be even greater with that decision of changing your health and your finances. We have a great money back guarantee. There's no reason to not get started today. And if you have questions, you can answer them while you're getting started and actually feeling the product.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much, Marcia, for your presentation today, for spending the time with us. And thank you everyone for joining with us. I'd like to acknowledge that we'll have another opportunity for you to join with us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And we'll make sure that you've got the link to that. And we'll be getting to spend time with Jerry White that evening. Anything you want to add, Marian?
I learned things today, and I'm very excited that Marcia, thank you so much for sharing your life with us. So yeah, we'll look forward to seeing people on the Tuesday one or next Wednesday.